Hey, welcome everybody. It's Mark Schultz here with Digital Aircraft, and I have the tremendous opportunity this week to be able to be here at the MRO Americas 2022 in Dallas. And then to add on top of that, I have a special guest with me here today, Johan Bourdais of Embraer. And we are going to have a conversation today about what they are doing and some important, exciting things that are new, for Embraer today. And Johan, let me just start out by having you tell people just who are you and what do you do in case they don't know who you are.
Thank you so much, Mark. Yeah. Hello, my name is Johan Bourdais. I'm the Chief Happiness Officer of the Embraer Customer Support Organization. I've been Embraer for 20 years now. We've been in a journey, and we're so happy to be back here in Dallas for the MRO Aviation Week fair. And this is just Embraer's back. It's official. We are back. We're one Embraer, and we're strong.
That's fantastic. And where did you come in from? Where are you based?
Based in São José dos Campos, and the headquarters of Embraer in Brazil. Been there for 9 years now. Excellent. With wives and little granddaughter and the family, and it's been a blast. It's been a blast. Yes.
Johan, that doesn't sound like a Portuguese name.
No, it's not. It's actually and Johan is actually not either a French name, but I'm French. I'm 100%. I'm from the Normandy. Yeah. And it's kind of weird to put a French guy for a customer support when we know that it's so hard to get some service out of Paris.
I think you guys are changing that, right?
We're changing this.
We're
changing this, and definitely at customer support at Embraer, we've been learning for the last 20 years. When in 30 years when we launched and being global on the Embraer 145, and on also the commercial aviation with the E-Jet, and back in 2003. The E2 will also launch, and all the other segment. And this is exactly why we made the decision, just to make sure that the customer support and services is delight the customer and the best-in-class support. And I think this is what the purpose of all the business unit that we created.
Let's have a little bit of a conversation about that. Johan, you and I had a chance to meet for the first time, I think 3 or 4 years ago, and I came down to São José dos Campos, and I really miss traveling to Brazil. It's just such a great place to go and to meet people, and so I'm really glad that we're back and we're engaging and we're doing these things. But hey, let's focus a little bit about what you're doing. So let me just ask you this: is that what is happening in the industry today, and how is that affecting you really? What are some of the changes? I know we're emerging right now. Can you just give the people watching today just a little bit of the impact on your business today?
Well, I think the impact has been different depending on the segment. Like I said, we put together the service and support organization, whether it's a defense, an executive jet, or a commercial aviation. Whatever we deliver from our factories around the world, it becomes our responsibility. It becomes our responsibility to make them fly, to make the airplanes, the 4,500 airplanes flying nowadays around the world. 4,500. And we have about 4,000 people to do this on a daily basis, 24 hours. But it has been impacting us in a different way, depending on the segment. Executive aviation has been actually flying quite a bit, even during the pandemic. Actually shift some of the passengers that we have in the commercial aviation to the executive aviation.
Some of the peak flying was during that.
Exactly, it was a peak flying. Yeah. So, I mean, it kept us really on our toes, just in terms of customer support, and make sure that, those airplanes will just keep flying. Where we've seen it actually reached at the peak of the pandemic, about 70% of our fleet on the commercial aviation was grounded. Of course, we were the first one also to come back, right, in operation. So we're pre-pandemic for the short haul, for the more regional type of operation, and that's why probably last year we were back at the pre-pandemic utilization on the airplane, and the defense. Also have been flying quite a bit. We had the C-390, the KC-390 for the Brazilian Air Force. They have 5 airplanes now, and I can tell you, during the pandemic, they've been using quite a bit the airplane. They had a chance to go to Lebanon for a mission. They also had to go to Poland and international, but within the country, just to making sure that we were dispatching and getting all the vaccines around the country. So it was a showcase also for us to show how the C-390 has been flying around very well.
Hey, if I were to capture, just for the people watching, if I were to capture the first of all, what's the name of your organization that you run?
Services and Support.
Services and Support. Okay.
And our motto is high tech, very human. I think it defines who we are. Not what we do, it's how we do it.
Okay.
We're very high tech, but also very human. Okay. That's how the customer support of Embraer, because I can tell you, Boeing, Airbus, Gulfstream, Lockheed Martin, everyone does customer support. Everyone's got a material organization, MRO, fly ops and training, and technical support. All of them we do.
What would you consider to be the core, pillars of your support organization?
Well, I think when we put together, we wanted to make sure that our CRM organization will stay the same. It was transparent for our customers. You don't deal with an Azul or an American airline, right, like you do with the Brazilian Air Force or the Hellenic Air Force, or you do with an MGM operation on the lineage. Right? Those are very specific, and we want to make sure that the customer account managers, the tech reps, the spare parts representative will have the same experience that they've been having when we created those segments. But in the backbone, making sure that the operation is seamless and also with an optimized footprint and efficient. And this is what we've been having a little trouble with, being efficient. Why is that?
Yeah.
Not because we don't know how to do it. It's because because of the pandemic and also what we call the Boeing no deal, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's been creating a carve out moment and a carve in moment to separate the companies. And now back in January to put back the companies together where we were getting prepared for the joint venture with Boeing. Now we put everything back together. Well, we had a blackout period. It created backlog internally, and it just put through a lot of issues of operation for the customers, a little troublesome. So now the beauty of it is that we're back in operation fully, right? The backlog is resolved, and now we can focus really on serving our customers, just like the whole intention was back in 2018 when we created the business unit.
So you said you were high touch and high tech. High tech and high touch?
Yeah,
high tech and human touch.
High tech, very human.
Very human.
Yeah,
very human. Well, what does that really mean?
I think it started with the Brazilian culture.
Okay.
I mean, we don't say you have a call center. We have a customer care center. We take care of the customer. I mean, that's what Brazilians are. So we just hug each other. This is why this moment is so important for us, because we're very human.
Yeah.
That's why you don't start a conversation with a Brazilian, just talking about, the issue that you have in the operation.
Yeah.
We talk about, what was the score of the game last night, right? How's your family? And I think that makes a special relationship, that it is the special touch that Embraer has, but it's global. So I like it to say that we're global. Because, but we have operation around the world. We're more than 70 countries around the world with our tech reps, with our distribution centers. We have our MRO, more than 80 authorized service center that's got the stamp of Embraer on the MRO side. Our own MRO also that we have. And, that's what it is, the special touch, but global, and global is global. Right?
And that's one of the reasons why I enjoy going to Brazil or going to Latin America, because of that engagement between people. And so if you can effectively transition that human engagement between people into providing your customer support, you have a really solid, organization there that's able to do that.
I think the moment that makes me most happy when we announce a new sale, it's when it's existing customer that buys more airplane. Because somehow that means that the 4,000 people engaged on this customer support are doing the right thing.
They're doing their job.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I understand that you have some new things that you've come up with today in order to be able to serve the market. What are some of the challenges in the marketplace today, and what are you doing in order to be able to fill the need in that marketplace today?
I think what we've seen, over the years is exactly, this increase of the e-commerce. This is something you cannot neglect, you cannot look over, you cannot ignore, because it's happening. And it's not happening because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
If you think about it, back in 2014, 10% in China, 10% of the commerce was online e-commerce.
We love to shop online.
There you go. Yeah. We all do. And that's the thing. We're like, well, is it only in China? No, it's in the US. Yeah. Same thing. Back in 2020, that percentage in China was 25%. You can imagine how it's been increasing over the last couple of years. It just keeps skyrocketing. And then again, it's not only Chinese. It's American, it's South America. We've seen the same trend, right? Or Africa or Asia. So it's a change of the population, of the need of society, profoundly. I mean, there's a new way of buying online, okay? And the more and more. And one thing, people are getting impatient. We want things now.
Yeah, we want to have a drive-through
now. We don't want it either.
We want to drive through coffee.
That's it. There's a study that actually shows that 42% of the cancellation of orders in the cart online is because of the lead time.
Oh,
too long lead time.
Yeah.
Drop it. I'm not going to buy online. So that puts a pressure on all the e-commerce actors is to make sure that you deliver on the same time, next day or same day. Oh, mind you, I mean, in China, it's like the same hours. It's in terms of hours, right? So that's
Yeah.
what we're getting. So that's a big pressure for all those, e-commerce actors. And the big challenge is about decentralization.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
That means that
Decentralization.
what happened, and it's been accelerated because of the pandemic, but people have been just going out of the urban region, right, and hubs, and going to for the home office, right, at home and the countryside. But they still want to have the things, next day or the same day.
Yeah.
So you need to reach out. You need to get the frequency just to reach out the customer, the end user customer. And
so the
on
fulfillment has to have a broader reach and a faster reach.
Decentralize your warehouses.
Okay.
That's what Amazon has been doing.
Okay. Yep.
All the big integrators to reach the customers like right there on the same day.
So what's the impact to
what does
the
that,
operators?
What does that mean?
Yeah.
So they have this big challenge. You have the same day standard and also the decentralization, let's say in the home office that's been happening. That means it creates a gap. That means that you need to get your logistics provider and your network, not with a wide body, not with a narrow body, not with also the very small, the turboprop, but you need to have what we call the crossover and the small jets. That gives you the frequency, the speed.
Yeah.
That's how you're going to keep them up with this decentralization.
So
and
what
that's
is
when
the
Embraer
response?
comes in.
What is the response from Embraer to that demand then?
And that's why we come in.
Yeah.
Because we have exactly the 190, 195 platform on the packs. We have a feedstock of 700 airplane nowadays around the world. So, and we talked about it, right? That the e-commerce is now worldwide, and it's around the world. What we're doing with those airplane now is just we see there's a new gap that we can have for the replacement of the cargo. So we have the lower end of the cargo, which is served by the turboprop, the ATR 72, for example. But we have the upper end, which will be the 737, for example, the 300. And there's a high level of replacement. And that's what we come in because that gap is filled up by
So you're manufacturing a freighter?
That's what we're doing. We're going to be converting now.
Not manufacturing.
Not manufacturing. Converting the existing 190, 195 that's been around now for about 15 years.
Well, conversion programs have been around for a long time. So, So they've proven to be successful. And it's a successful way to take an aircraft that might have a several year lead time and to be able to provide that into the market much more rapidly. So what is the program that you've fashioned to be able to meet that demand?
And that's what we designed. And we thought, that was exactly the perfect timing for us to launch the product and the e-freighter, let's call it that way, right? The e-freighter, the E-Jet freighter for the 190, 195 E1 platform. Okay, so 700 airplane, this is what we have today. This is the market that we see. We create this gap.
What is 700 airplanes? What is that? You said
so the 700 airplane is actually, there are 700 airplanes. The first number is that how many airplane we believe that this gap of crossover, special gap between the turboprop and the narrow body
of the 4,500 currently in service
of the we're talking about the cargo needs for that specific gap.
But there's about 4,500.
But then the second number, which is 700, is also what we have of 100, the 190 and 195 flying around the world today, and that's what it brings to confusion. It's the same number. Okay. And being conservative, we believe that we can capture 20% of this.
Okay, so you say there's 4,500 airplanes out there in service today. Approximately 700 of them are 190, 195s, and you're thinking there's a demand for about 7 passengers.
Aircraft.
You say there's a demand for about maybe 700 freighter aircraft out there in this category,
crossover, small.
And you're coming up with a conversion program which will allow you to be able to fill that market, and you think that maybe 20% of those might fit in
150 airplane. We can
150
capture.
Airplanes.
Conservative.
Okay,
we're rookies. We never done this before.
Okay, all right.
First time.
So you have a new program, and you're going to make available into the marketplace about 100 to 150 new freighters by a conversion program.
That's correct, and that's what we announced.
Okay,
and that's what we're going to be launching. We're right now discussing with prospect. Hopefully by the end of this year, we'll be able to.
When could we possibly expect the first one to be in the
first
service?
One? We're right now in the design phase, engineering phase. We'll be by the end of this year. We'll be selecting the suppliers also. Right, there's quite a modification to be done to the airplane to transform it into a cargo. And first induction will be first quarter of 2024.
Okay, and who will be doing these conversions?
Embraer will. It's a service built-in. Made by Embraer, 100% made by Embraer. in São José dos Campos, where we currently produce the E1 and E2 in hybrid line.
So it will be done
in
right
parallel
on the main manufacturing line, or part of
it will be different hangars, right?
Different hangar. Okay.
Different hangar, but definitely benefiting from the synergies from the engineering, the program, the production, and just producing about 5 airplanes the first year.
So how does this means of certification come about? How do you certify the aircraft as a freighter then? Is it by STC, or how is it done?
By the service bulletin, just like we've been certifying the 16 airplane that we've done over the last 20 years.
Okay.
It's ANAC certified, but then we have the bilateral agreement with whoever is going to be operating the first cargo, and it's going to be, of course, FAA or EASA, and also the national airworthiness authority.
I actually have a lot of followers in Brazil, and so they'll know exactly what ANAC means. But for those that are not in Brazil, what is ANAC?
Aviação Nacional.
That's the Brazilian certification agency, like the EASA and FAA, other places around the world. Okay, so they'll provide the certification, and then you'll extend that out to the FAA and the EASA, and provide the aircraft available in other places. So, do you have a first customer yet?
Not yet. We're working on it actively. A lot of prospects, a lot of customers have been knocking at the door, because either they actually own, a fleet of E1 190 or 195. The leasing company also very interested with this conversion.
I would expect
so.
Yeah.
And they've been experiencing also during the pandemic. They've been kind of pushed to just fly those airplanes. We actually developed an STC for customers that wanted to overnight be able to use the airplane, the packs, right, and removing the main
cargo,
deck, removing few rows, right, and you can put some bulk parcels and be flying the airplane. It's like, oh wow, this is being.
Well, I'm really not surprised, because we saw this during the pandemic, that business jets and freighters, just skyrocketed as all the passenger aircraft were on the ground, and now as all the passenger aircraft are coming back into full utilization at this point, it seems like the business jets and the freighters just continue to grow.
Absolutely.
At this point.
And that's exactly what we think. It's the right moment to make that move with the E-Freighter.
Good. Well, listen, this is really exciting news, and I wish you the best in being able to supply this new capability, within the market. Hey, one thing I always like to do as we're nearing the conclusion of an interview is that if someone wants to reach out to you and wants to have a further conversation with you about this, what should they do?
Oh gosh. Well, 2 things. You can definitely get on LinkedIn. You can get on the social media. You can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to answer any question. Anyone that actually lives in Brazil and wants to come to Brazil and visit the factory, also very happy to do so. But we're going to be at the booth, the MRO.
Okay, well, tell everybody what the booth number is. Or,
the booth number.
But whatever, it doesn't really matter. They'll see.
They'll see it. They don't need the number, because you're going to go down that stairs and you're going to see that big,
the big blue.
Yeah, the big blue.
The big blue. Embraer,
3D screen. But I won't spoil the moment. But you'll see us. So we'll be around for the next 4 days. Please come, and then we'll be able to talk about all those good stuff.
Hey, listen, I never like to let somebody get away without asking a really important question. Is that you have a great deal of enthusiasm for aviation. I have a great deal of enthusiasm for aviation. I've been flying since I was 14, I think. I was flying before I could drive a car.
Okay?
It is in the blood. What is the most exciting for you about the future in aviation today?
The future of aviation today? It's about mobility, because the more that we move forward, it's not so much about airplane, it's about aircraft and flying and connecting the people. And what's happening on the e-commerce that I talked about, we're going to see it, and it's going to be more and more. We're going to see airplanes or aircraft or whatever we call it, right? Whether they're eVTOLs, right? They're a vertical takeoff landing device, or that's what it's connecting to people. So it's very much about the culture of Embraer, that the spirit, it's caring, connecting people. Well, it's
you came right to the heart of what I believe. I believe that aviation connects people. I didn't even know this before you said this, is that I believe aviation connects people, and we thrive relationships. And I believe that you get into an airplane and you go connect with somebody, and it creates and enhances and builds those relationships. Yes, from the beginning of time, they were routes for e-commerce and connecting, commerce and trade routes. But connecting of people is such an important part.
The people.
It is connecting the people. Right? Listen, Johan, thank you so much for having this conversation with us today. I'm sure the people enjoyed listening to it, and I wish you the best in this new business venture and for everything that you'll be doing going forward. Thank you so much.
Obrigado.
Obrigado. Fair winds and following seas to you all. Thanks. And let me close by saying that We're planning on doing very exciting interviews all week long at the MRO Americas 2022 here down in Dallas. Follow along and you will see some good conversations this week. And thank you for joining us. Have a great day. Bye.